So, can the Chiefs win their seventh straight division title? Will the Rams be able to pull themselves out of the gutter? And is this year Josh McDaniels' last stand? Well, we're going to see if we can find the answers to those questions and a lot more as we conclude our annual four-part series on our division previews. We're going west, and we're going to do that right here on Fantasy Football Fever, starting right now. Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Friday, July 21st, 2023. Tick tock, tick tock. We are not too far away from the start of NFL season. There's a few teams that have already started their training camps recently, and I talk about that here in a little bit. Of course, you know the big three here. Yours truly, Tim McClellan. Mr. Hooked on Sports, John Flynn, over there taking his train to his homestead.
Yep.
All right. And although you can't see him, you can't see our commissioner, but he is here. Just having some visual problems here. John Natale.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right.
So what was only Natalie can use invisible powers?
Yep. He may be our lead commissioner, but I think he's got some hidden talents under his sleeve. He's going to work his way, so we can see his pretty face on this thing here. Well, anyway, hope you guys have had a good summer so far. I'm telling you right now, the heat down here in Texas is just absolutely, it's borderline unbearable. I'll tell you what. We've had heat indexes like 110, 115.
You've been overdue for that because May and June were cooler than normal down in Texas.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, June is kind of hot. July is pretty bad so far, and of course, you know, August down here in Texas is probably the worst month with all that heat, all that. It's the heat, and you combine that with the humidity. It's just terrible. But hopefully everybody out there watching is able to relax with their kind of weather. As you know, today we are going to conclude our four-part series of our divisional previews. We're going to be previewing the AFC West, and we got the NFC West. Of course, we'll be showing you the fantasy rankings for the starters, the schedules for each team, the over/under win projections. We'll do that in a moment. But first, we're going to take care of a few things that we really haven't been taking care of in quite some time. A little segment that we call Hot Topics, some of the biggest news in the NFL right now. And the first big hot topic is wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. A couple of days ago, just recently signed with the Tennessee Titans. So, Flynn, you got some information on this one. So, does this make the race for the South Division in the AFC a little bit closer?
I mean, if the Titans had wanted any chance of making the playoffs in a brutal AFC, I mean, they had to sign DeAndre Hopkins. It's a 2-year, $32 million contract. $26 million is base salary, but it could be up to $32 million in incentives. And really, the Tennessee Titans were I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago, but the Tennessee Titans wide receiver room was just simply deplorable, and the fact that you can have DeAndre Hopkins now Traylon Burks can be the number 2 wideout for a team that sorely missed AJ Brown a year ago. That is definitely needed on all sorts of areas. So, I mean, but I want to give you the Titans wide receiver chart that we talked about a few weeks ago. We had Traylon Burks, we had Nick Westbrook, and Kyle Phillips ranked 39th, 94th, and 97th respectively. Now enter DeAndre Hopkins. Now the Titans have two wide receivers that are going to be in the top 45 in the fantasy rankings this upcoming season. But I do think the Titans still have a lot of issues concerning their offensive line, concerning the quarterback. I mean, so Ryan Tannehill has the biggest cap hit I think of any player in the National Football League. So that's going to be something. But DeAndre Hopkins with the Titans is a good situation for him. It's a good situation for him to get at least 800, 900, or even 1,000 receiving yards, and could be a comfortable wide receiver too in a lot of fantasy settings.
Yeah, very interesting. Sally, got anything on the Hopkins signing with the Titans?
Yeah, it is a good sign for them, but I still don't think they're going to win the division. I still think the Jaguars are the clear favorite. The Titans' defense I wouldn't say it's particularly great. I think the Jaguars' defense is still better overall. I think the Titans would be lucky to get second place, in all honesty.
So we got DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans. We'll see what happens there. We have also some running backs who they're still on the franchise tag looking for some deals here, including Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley for the Giants, Josh Jacobs for the Raiders, and Tony Pollard for my Cowboys. So the deals have come and gone, and Flynn, Natalie, let's just go ahead and get started with Saquon Barkley. Flynn, you can start.
I mean, if I'm the Giants and you're seeing the behavior from Saquon Barkley over the last few days, I mean, good. It was a good decision not to be signing Saquon Barkley, because if you're gonna if you want someone to buy into the culture, it is the commentary from Saquon Barkley about putting himself over the team is not going to sit right when it comes to dealing with when it comes to dealing with Joe Shane and Brian Dable. So I think that the Giants made a smart decision on that front.
Natalie, your thoughts on Barkley?
Yeah, I don't know what playing games is going to accomplish. I mean, he's got to realize that if he doesn't play, he's not getting paid. Can you imagine all that money he's forfeiting?
Wow.
Yeah, they still have a solid running back core. You still have Matt Breida, and I think Gary Brightwell. He's been pretty decent. And then they got a new guy. We don't know if he's going to make the roster.
Yeah,
yet.
and also tell the viewers who the Giants brought in today.
That's right. Yeah, James Robinson, former running back of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was pretty solid when he was there. He was basically a mentor to Travis Etienne.
So bringing in another running back could be it might be a sign that they could be nudging Barkley out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also think
it's a roster crunch. Somebody's going to be the odd man out, but who?
So it might be Brightwell or Breida, but if Saquon Barkley for some reason miraculously shows up to play week number one, the Giants are going to have as good a running back duo as any of the National Football League, and that's going to be a big boost. Now, I'm not one that values running backs more than others. Some players do, some players don't. But if the Giants have a running back tandem of Saquon Barkley and James Robinson, I think that's good. That's going to be as good as it gets. and I think the Giants they'll be able to allow the Giants to take some bit of pressure off of Daniel Jones. Because and also another one of his toys that he'll have at his possession, and along with the wide receivers that we mentioned 2 weeks ago with Isaiah Hodgins, with Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt and Paris Campbell, and they also threw in another toy into the mix today when they brought in Cole Beasley, who comes over. He knows Brian Dable and Joe Shane from his days in Buffalo, of course, the former Dallas Cowboy, and he was, and believe it or not, and this was crazy when I looked this up, that in 2020 Cole Beasley was second team All Pro at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was pretty good with the Cowboys, pretty good with the Bills, and now heading over to the Giants.
So now my question though is he going to be the Giants' number one receiver?
It could very well be.
I'd say there would be a strong possibility.
It's probably toss up right now between him and maybe Slayton.
Yeah, and also the thing about the Giants that we discussed a couple of weeks ago is that sure the Giants might not have like a Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle or Deebo Samuel or Justin Jefferson, but the depth of the Giants wide receivers and sure you can talk about Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson recovering from season-ending injuries last year, but the Giants have maybe the best number 4, number 5, and number 6 wide receivers on the depth chart in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. And the lack of a number 1 wide receiver could actually be a blessing in disguise because if that's the case, that's going to force other teams to really allocate their resources on game planning for different wide receivers differently because one thing Matt Ryan learned when he spent time without Julio Jones and Roddy White way back when is that it forced Matt Ryan to distribute the football better, and that made him a better quarterback, and that made him and that was a big reason why he went on to be an MVP and probably Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you see there. Now we have another running back who has yet to get a long-term deal. Josh Jacobs in Oakland. Flynn, your thoughts on that?
I understand from what the Raiders are coming from, but I do think this is a less obvious rejection than the situations with Saquon Barkley and Tony Pollard. Maybe because that the Raiders couldn't function offensively without Josh Jacobs last year. However, when you guys see the charts later, the Raiders' offensive line did improve a little bit from last off season. So is it going to be somebody else who's going to take the reins for the Las Vegas Raiders? And maybe someone like Amir Abdullah, the former Lion and the former Viking, that's going to be the one back if he doesn't show up. I mean, go at it.
Natalie, your thoughts on Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, I can understand the situation here, but I think with them, I think they're eventually going to figure it out. Because like the Raiders know they're nothing without him. They need some leadership. I think he's the guy that has to be the leader for them. He's got to be the backbone of the team. I think they'll figure it out.
But hold on, Natal. I've been destroying the Raiders on this podcast for the better part of 2 to 3 years. Well, I mean, we all know it's going to happen, but do the Raiders know? Do the Raiders have a plan in place? I mean, you really don't know. So
yeah, fair, yeah, very fair point.
Yeah. And also another thing about the 3 running backs, they all have a franchise tag of a little north of $10 million. So the only two running backs in this league have higher salary cap hits than those two, and it's Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns and Derrick Henry of the Titans.
Yeah. And of course, another running back still not with a long-term deal is the Cowboys' very own Tony Pollard. Of course, with Ezekiel Elliott's departure, Pollard comes up to the running back one position, and Pollard's numbers have been pretty darn good over the last couple of years. But Flynn, can I get your thoughts on Pollard?
Why didn't they do this 4 years ago with Ezekiel Elliott? That's the question I have. I mean, the Cowboys' decision to extend Ezekiel Elliott to that crazy contract torpedoed the Cowboys' chances of winning the Super Bowl, and they had some extremely talented teams with what they were able to field out on a year-to-year basis. So lesson learned from the Cowboys. Even without Pollard, I think the Cowboys can be the third or fourth best team in the NFC, probably number 3. So, but I think the Cowboys made the smart decision not to bring back, not to extend Tony Pollard.
Yes, I'd like to bring to our audience a little comment that you made earlier this week, saying that that teams really shouldn't overpay their running backs.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, you look at. I mean, I don't have the graphic up. I didn't put the graphic into our chat, but in the last 15 years, among all the Super Bowl winning teams, the Super Bowl leading rusher at running back, the highest salary of all of them is $2.5 million, and the salaries of the 3 running backs who failed to sign long-term contract negotiations and thus will have the option to play on the franchise tag, that salary is 4 times that. So you can take it for what it's worth.
Right. Yeah. Natalie, any thoughts about overpaying the running backs?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you do get overpaid, but I would say as long as you're paid reasonable, whatever is fair. But personally, I think Pollard does deserve to be paid. He's been the better running back recently. Lately, he's definitely better than Zeke. He might not be bigger, but he's a lot quicker. He can serve as a pass catcher. You don't see many running backs that can do that. Now, I'm not suggesting paying Derrick Henry money, but pay him what he's worth. He got promoted to number 1 back for a reason. Ronald Jones is definitely not a number 1.
So, but I disagree with your take about fewer running backs being pass catchers. I mean, what we've seen with the Shanahan offense, what we've been seeing with Andy Reid, what we saw with Mike McDaniel's offenses is that you really need to find a way for a running back to be a playmaker and someone for the opposing team to game plan around, because you could talk about running backs, but the value they have of pass catching, I mean, it is more valuable now than ever because the league revolves around the quarterbacks, and there are 2 types of teams in this league: teams that have quarterbacks and great passing games, and teams that don't.
Right.
So from the perspective of running backs only running, the impact of it has changed from being pure rushers like some of the great rushers ever with Walter Payton and Emmitt Smith, and you can go down the line with these Hall of Famers. It's much more than that, really, and that's why being a pure rusher is not going to cut it in this league, and the agents that just were so out of touch with reality in the negotiations. It's just simply mind-boggling and delusional, and the divide between the players was exploited with some of Saquon Barkley's commentary about getting paid, and when the players get hosed again in the collective bargaining agreements in 2030, the players can look towards some of the commentary this week as a reason why they won't get their fair share, and also it also exposes how brutally divided they are. And also another point about the CBA before we move on, that the last CBA barely passed amongst the players. But there were like 2,000 votes from the players. It was only a 50 vote difference between yes or no. Yeah, and the owners know how out of touch the players are with economic reality, right. and they're going to expose them again. And I mean, hence why you have a 17-game schedule. So it's because the owners knew that money was all that mattered to them, and they wouldn't budge.
Well, I guess something needs to be said about overpaying these running backs. Just going, we don't run to the ground. So hopefully these guys can get their deals. If not, maybe they'll just have to get deals somewhere else. So,
and who exactly is going to pay them?
Exactly. There's got to be somebody out there.
Yeah, and also, since this is a fantasy show, that one thing that's going to change in the coming years is that more wide receivers are going to be taken in the first 2 rounds and fewer running backs, because of how expendable the running back position is becoming.
Yeah, seems like the running back is kind of a dying breed here a little bit. But anyway, that's basically our hot topics for this week. But before we get to the meat of our show, we just want to remind you that we still have some spots that are available for our fantasy league right now.
One spot open. One spot left.
There's one spot left.
Did Lucas accept?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Did you guys talk to Dashy?
I spoke with Dashy a little bit. I think he said he may think about it.
Okay.
I haven't got a decision from him. I tried to reach out to Steel Simon, one of our other horsemen,
Right.
I haven't gotten a response from him yet. So hopefully we can get in here. So that link that you see, folks, that is the link to our league if you want to join. There's one spot available, but of course, if necessary, I'm sure Natalia maybe adjust to maybe 2 more spots if necessary. But there's a link right there.
So I mean, so is this up from 10 to 12 now?
If more people want to join, yes.
So basically 9 spots filled out of 10 is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
Yeah. I got 9 spots filled. Got 1 left, but we can always expand a little bit if necessary.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of fantasy leagues. I know are 12 teams. So my hope is that we can expand it to 12, but we're gonna have to see what comes out of between now and the draft. And the draft is exactly 6 weeks from tonight, tentatively, September the 1st.
That's right.
Yeah, September 1st. That's our tentative league draft night. So we'll see what happens after the preseason, if there's players available or not. That's how Natalie kind of works things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have after this show. We only have 2 off-season shows left: the fantasy rankings, and then the new thing I came up with, the 20Q.
Yeah, or like a town hall.
Yeah, or town hall. I actually came up with another show that we could do, that we could probably squeeze in. Make our super playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that. That's right.
That's directly before the draft.
And on the tail end of that show, I was thinking that each of us could come up with 5 bold predictions for the 2023 NFL season.
All righty.
Yeah, and I think since and I say this all the time, since this is a fantasy show, I think because I want to hopefully we can direct predictions for fantasy, like who's going to be top 10 and top 20. I gave some potential spoilers early on in the season. Are during the off-season shows? Are those predictions going to hold up? Am I going to change anything? You'll have to find out then. But
yeah. But right there, we'll go ahead. We'll put that. We'll put the link for the fantasy league up again at near the end of the show. So we're just going to go ahead right now and get to the meat of this show, which is going through the division previews. This is our 4th week, and we are going through the AFC and NFC West. First, do I have any windows ready? Yeah, I've got the graphics here, so let me just go ahead and get the first graphic up and bring it up onto the screen.
Yeah, and there's a really good chance that'll be the only graphic you'll need to pull up.
Okay, so we're taking a look at the AFC West right now. All 4 teams and their respective starters and their fantasy rankings in each of their positions, starting with the Denver Broncos. Their quarterback, Russell Wilson, ranked number 16 among all quarterbacks in fantasy, kind of in the middle right there. Running backs, Javonte Williams is ranked 31st, and right behind at 32 overall is Samaje Perine. And then you got Jerry Jeudy, who is ranked 26th. That's the wide receiver position, along with Portland Sutton at 47 and Tim Patrick at 73.
And of course, Tim Patrick and Javonte Williams are coming off injuries. Tim Patrick is coming off an ACL tear.
Oh, so that could be a really good boost for that offense right there. Greg Dillis, your tight end, is ranked 17th. Broncos defensive special teams is ranked 20th, while the offensive line is ranked up at number 11. So I'm kind of actually predicting a better season for the Broncos than last year. We'll get into the schedule here momentarily. Moving on, right now we're taking a look at Flynn getting everything set up in his room right now.
Yeah, you guys continue on with Kansas City.
Yes, sir. We're going to Kansas City. Number 1 quarterback in the whole league, Patrick Mahomes. I guess there's no surprise there. Their 2 running backs, Isaiah Pacheco and Jarrett McKinnon, are 24 and 39, respectively. Kadarius Toney has been moved up to wide receiver 1, ranked 49 among the wide receivers in the league, with Sky Moore and Rashee Rice at 57 and 67. And, of course, they have the overall number 1 tight end in the league, Travis Kelce. Chiefs defense special teams are ranked number 19, while the offensive line for the Chiefs are at a nice number 4 position.
Yeah, and also to note that the Chiefs replaced their two tackles from last year, Orlando Brown, the left tackle, who is now with Cincinnati, and Andrew Wiley, the right tackle from last year, who's now with the Commanders. So they replaced them with Donovan Smith from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jawan Taylor, formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars, to round out their offensive line.
Next over to Los Angeles with the Chargers, with the former AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, Justin Herbert, at a respectable number 7 ranking. Austin Eckler ranked number 1 among all running backs in fantasy with his backup Josh. No surprise there. Nope, not at all. Joshua Kelly's backup is ranked number 59. The wideouts, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson, there are 18, 28, and 51 respectively. Gerald Everett is around the middle of the pack as far as league tight ends at number 16. The defense special teams is ranked 24, with the offensive line ranked number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Then over to Las Vegas with their newly acquired quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, ranked number 23 among all quarterbacks in fantasy. Running backs Josh Jacobs and Amir Abdullah, number 7 and 80 respectively. That is a pretty big spread right there. We have wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, 5, 38, and 72. Austin Hooper, their tight end, is ranked number 32 among all the tight ends in fantasy. Raiders defense special teams not very good at 32, but their offensive line is almost probably around the middle at number 13. So that's we just had a comment show up. Let's go ahead and highlight that. Thanos Heisenberg says Eckler over CMC.
I think you got to go with Eckler. I mean, Eckler is so good at catching the football. I mean, I love Christian McCaffrey. I think those are the two best running backs in fantasy this year. So I think but if I had to choose one, which I should have done last year in my other league, like I did, this one, we got to roll with Austin Eckler.
And of course, you have to think about a couple of years ago when McCaffrey suffered that injury when he was still in Carolina. So think about that. But yeah, I would agree. I'll take Eckler.
Yeah, it's definitely very close. I just think Eckler's just slightly faster. He's got a little bit more speed.
Yeah, there must be there. And now with that, we'll go ahead and bring up the schedules for the. Hold up. I think I just clicked on the wrong thing here. Let me get this right here. I think this is the one I want to get here. Yep. Here's the screen here. Let's go ahead and get the schedules up for the AFC West for this year and the over-unders. Get my notes here. Get ready. Starting with the Denver Broncos, their over-under projection is 8.5 wins. Going through, I was looking at these schedules about a couple of days ago, and I can see Denver going 4-0 for the first 4 games. They're at home against Los Angeles, home against the Commanders, then on the road to Miami, and on the road to Chicago.
Yeah, I got 3-1. I think their loss will be to the Dolphins.
So yeah, I have them starting 3-0. I have them losing their first game under Sean Payton to the Chicago Bears.
I got a question mark for Week 5 against the New York Jets. That may be a little too close to call right there.
Yeah,
I mean, yes,
I
Aaron
I
Rodgers
have
is
this
in a
as a
new
loss for
system.
Denver.
You lost for Denver, so that's still a question mark. Week 6 at Kansas City. No way. Then before the bye week, they're at home against Green Bay. Then Kansas City comes back and goes to Denver. And this is where I see a split here. I can see Denver losing at Kansas City, but I can see Denver beating Kansas City at home.
I'll agree with that.
Week 9 is the bye. Week 10, they travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. I see a loss there. Then 11 weeks 11, 12, 13, I see three straight wins. Home against the Vikings, home against the Browns, on the road against the Texans.
Yeah, I think Week 13 is going to be a little tricky, but I think the Broncos should pull it off.
Then I see week 14 on the road against the Chargers, and I think I see the Chargers nipping the Broncos kind of late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then I see the Chargers winning their last 4 games of the season at Detroit, home against the Patriots, home against the Chargers, and on the road against the Raiders.
Yeah, I see a loss in Detroit, and then I see the Broncos winning their last 3 games to make the playoffs with 10 wins.
Yeah, so so Flynn has 10 wins for the Broncos. I actually have 13 wins with 3 losses and that question mark.
Yeah, I have 9, so they just barely over.
Just barely over. Yeah,
We all have the over here.
Yeah, you think 13 wins for the Broncos is crazy? You ain't heard crazy yet. But you're about to right now as we talk about the Chiefs schedule.
Oh boy, I think I know where you're going with this.
Sheesh.
Chiefs schedule, their over-under predictions is 11 wins.
11 and a half.
Or 11 and a half. Gentlemen, I looked at this thing up and down.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I see the Chargers. I see the Chiefs. We're talking about the Chiefs now.
Right?
I see the Chiefs losing just one single game.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there against the Broncos.
Week 8 in Mile High. I mean, history tells us that Chiefs don't usually do pretty good in that Mile High sky, you know. But everywhere else, this is going to be like the '85 Bears.
Well, I mean, Mahomes is. I think his career record against the division on the road is 15-0, 5-0 against Denver, 5-0 against Vegas, 5-0 against the Chargers on the road. But I actually see 5 losses for Kansas City.
I have 3 losses.
All right, Flynn, let's talk about your losses. Where are you talking about those losses?
Yeah. So week 2 in Jacksonville, week 4 Sunday Night Football against the Jets, week 5 Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson special loss to the Vikings. Week 15 loss on the road to the Patriots because of Belichick, and then week 17 losing at home to the Cincinnati Bengals in a game that will decide the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Interesting. Natalia, you say you only got 3 losses for the Chiefs. Yes. Where you see them?
Yeah, one of them in the Broncos, the split series there. And my other 2 are week 11 against the Eagles and week 14 against the Bills.
Hmm.
I think Allen will finally get the last laugh and beat Mahomes.
I mean, he beat Mahomes in the regular season last year. The
He did. Oh, well, I
yeah,
was talking about like
yeah.
in a playoff. I mean, I was talking about in the
Oh,
playoffs. That's
yeah.
what I meant.
So, Flynn's got 11 wins. Looks like the tally's got 14 wins, and of course I got 16 wins. I say a seventh straight division title for the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, which I believe,
I mean,
like I said, this year could
14.
be Josh McDaniels' last stand.
Oh, yeah, we all have the over again.
For the Chiefs, mine's more less of a slam dunk than the two of you think.
Yeah. So the Raiders, their win loss. Wait a minute. I misplaced my my notes here. We're going to the Chargers now. Let's go to SoFi with the Chargers here. Their projected total is 9.5 wins. And right off the back of week one, I see a loss at home to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Then I see 3 straight wins on the road at Tennessee, on the road at Minnesota, and a win at home against the Raiders. The bye week is week 5, very early bye week for the Chargers.
Mhm.
Then they can come off the bye. They're at home against the Cowboys. I see a loss to the Cowboys there. See a loss at Kansas City. Win at home against the Bears. Loss on the road against the Jets. Loss at home.
A Monday night game, I might add.
Oh, yes, a Monday night game, ESPN, right? Yep. And they got that Monday night game against the Cowboys after they come off the bye week.
Yep. Agree.
Lost at home against Detroit, week 10. Then I see 2 straight wins. I see them winning on the road at Green Bay. And I see kind of an upset at home against the Ravens.
Yeah, a Sunday night football on NBC that week.
Sunday night football, make a note of that right there. Then I see only one more win at home against the Broncos on December 10th. Then the rest I see as losses on the road to Vegas, at home against Buffalo, on the road at Denver, and home against Kansas City, which means that I project the Chargers going 7-10. So obviously, I'm taking the under.
Yes, so I actually have the Chargers starting to 8-5. I actually have them beating Miami. I have them beating Dallas.
Ooh.
So and so I think some of the road losses that I think that they're going to suffer are going to be mind-numbing. Because I have them losing on the road in Tennessee week 2. I have them losing on the road in Green Bay week 11. And then on a short week, I have them losing on the road in Vegas on Thursday. That Thursday night game, week 15.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Natalie?
Wow.
Kind of mind-boggling. Folks, I think our commissioner is speechless. I think he doesn't know what to think.
I think
Oh, well, Natalie, where's your audio issue? Oh, he's probably having the technical problems again.
Yeah. Yeah, but I digress. And then I too have the Chargers losing their final 4 games. I have been going 8-9, and missing the playoffs.
Hmm.
And also that would probably mean that Brandon Staley is going to get fired. I mean, if both of our predictions are correct.
Yeah. So it looks like. I think we got him back down. We can bring him back in.
All right. Let's hope my phone doesn't get hot this time.
First time the world has seen you today.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully my phone doesn't get hot to where it crashes.
Right. So
Yeah, I'm long due for an upgrade.
Oh yeah.
I think I had my current phone for almost 3 years.
3 years with that phone. So I said 7-10 for the Chargers. Flynn said 8-9.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say, Natalie?
Yeah, mine are pretty close to yours. I'm about 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah, I mean, what are some of the mind-numbing losses so that you have because there are a lot of Charger road games for the Chargers that can feel like losses in inexplicable fashion.
Yeah, I think some of my wins are probably the Titans, and I could see a split with the Raiders. I mean, I could see a win with the Bears.
Yeah.
Possibly the Jets. That's my question mark. The Patriots, I think they can win. And a split with the Broncos, split with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. But I guess we're all in consensus that the Chargers will probably miss out on the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the Chargers were in the NFC, I think their entire outlook would be different. But
Right.
but the problem is they're not in the National Football Conference.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. Their over/under win projection is 7.5. Like I said, I was looking at these a couple of days ago, and this is almost like the total opposite of the Kansas City Chiefs schedule that I looked at. I only see 2 definite wins for the Raiders. Only 2 wins this year. I can see them winning at home in Week 3 against Pittsburgh Steelers.
I have that as one of my 5 wins.
And I have the Raiders winning in Week 15 at home against the Chargers.
That I also have.
So I've got the Raiders going 2-15, and Josh McDaniel finally getting his pink slip.
Why?
Yeah. Now the question is. Yeah.
So Natalie, you said 5 wins, right? Oh no. Flynn said 5 wins.
Yeah. Yes.
Said Pittsburgh Week 3 and Week 15 against Los Angeles.
Yep. Then I have Week 14 against Minnesota with the Raiders coming off their bye week. Week 5 at home, a Monday night game against Jordan Love and the Packers. And then Week 8, the Raiders pulling off an upset on the road on Monday Night Football against the Lions.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then Week 8, and then after that they lose to the Giants, the Jets, the Dolphins coming off a bye week, and then Kansas City. And then I think that's when they're going to fire Josh McDaniels after the first Kansas City game.
So I guess we can agree that okay. Oh, Natalie, let me get yours. How many wins you got for these Raiders?
I'm Let's see. Looking at this roster, looking at this schedule, it doesn't look too good for them here. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But I'm going to say I'll just say a quick one, probably 5 wins, I want to say. I would say possibly a split with the Chargers. Let me see. I'm going to go, their wins will be 1 against the Chargers, 1 against the Packers. No, sorry, not the Packers. The Patriots, the Bears, Vikings, and the Colts. I'll say 5 wins as well.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, Ian. Well, interesting here. Yeah, I guess we all agree that Josh McDaniels will be out of Las Vegas probably sooner than later. Let me go ahead and get rid of this here.
Yeah,
And this here.
yeah, and my graphics are ready.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and let you take over the graphics for the NFC West.
Yep. So if you can pull it up, that would be great.
Yeah, let me. I thought I had all of them. What do I got here? I got this here. I got the roster, and I should get the. Oh yeah, you want me to send them to you? That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying because I have my screen ready to be to share because I'm home.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and send that over. Just a moment, people. We got some technical stuff we gotta get here, so y'all just sit tight and I'll just sit tight while we do this here. Talk amongst yourselves. Here, let me go. Let me get that file, and then we'll get this one here. I think those are the ones that we're looking for. Sent them in the messenger chat, so you should have them momentarily.
Yeah, it's basically what I just have. But I'm saying my screen is ready on my computer.
Okay. All right. Here. Well, let's go ahead and.
Yeah. But I will tell you people that there are going to be some deep fantasy sleepers that we're going to be discussing with the NFC West. So I think you definitely want to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stick around, folks. As they say, you might learn something. So let's go ahead and get off that page. And let's go ahead and get this here. And while we're waiting for Natalia to get back. There we go. Those are the rosters and the fantasy rankings for each team in the NFC West. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals, where they have ranked Kyler Murray at number 20, with running backs James Conner and Keontae Ingram at 21.79. Hollywood Brown, Rondell Moore, and Michael Wilson, the wide receiver core at 29, 46, and 81.
Yeah.
Trey McBride, their tight end, ranked down near the bottom at 28. Cardinals with the second worst defensive special teams, and the offensive line is not that good either at number 27.
Yeah. So, but I think one name that I think you really need, 2 names you really need to look out for, in terms of potential solutions towards the end of your fantasy drafts. Hollywood Brown at number 29, especially if Kyler Murray comes back, he's going to be the number one target now that DeAndre Hopkins is out of the equation there. So I think you definitely want to think about drafting Hollywood Brown in these if he's available in like pick 70 or later. I think he's going to be someone that to monitor.
And I guess even with their backup quarterback, he'll probably still be okay. I'm surprised you didn't put the backup quarterback. He's going to be playing more of the games.
Yeah, but I think Kyler Murray is but I have him up because he's ranked number 20. But
yeah.
But I can tell you that Colt McCoy is still the backup.
Right, that's right. That's his name. Yeah, I don't think Purdy's going to be the starter either.
Yeah. But everything's saying that Purdy's is going to try to make it for week 1.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the other quarterback is. And name's not coming to me.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
I gotta get my Longhorn love to Colt McCoy. Horns, you know.
Right.
So, going to the Los Angeles Chargers, Matthew Stafford, among all quarterbacks, he's ranked 18th.
Is it you mean the Rams?
Did I say Chargers?
Yes.
Okay, well, I meant to say Rams. So, let's talk about the Rams. Matthew Stafford, ranked number 18. Running backs Cam Akers, Kyron Williams at 25 and 55. Cooper Kupp runneth over at number 20 at number 2, the second best receiver among fantasy wide receivers. Van Jefferson and Brent Snowronick at 80 and 98.
Ben Skowronek, a Notre Dame grad.
Skowronek. Oh. Their tight end Tyler Higbee is ranked number 13. The defense and special teams for the Rams is at 29, while their offensive line is at 30. And now we go to San Francisco, where where the man who was Mr. Irrelevant, now big-time starter Brock Purdy, after he came on last year and just took over this team, took them to a deep run in the playoffs. Brock Purdy, they got him ranked at number 25. Christian McCaffrey is ranked number 2 among all wide receivers, with Elijah Mitchell at number 45. Pretty good combination for these wide receivers. Deebo Samuel, number 17. Brandon Ayuk at number 35. And Joanne Jennings at number 99. George Kittle, the tight end, ranked number 5. 49ers with the top defense special teams in fantasy with the number 26 ranked offensive line.
And mind you, this is despite an offensive line that has maybe the best offensive lineman in football in Trent Williams.
Oh, yeah. So, he'll be a good anchor for that offensive line this coming season. And, of course, we got the Seattle Seahawks going down their list. Their quarterback, Geno Smith, ranked 15th among quarterbacks, with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, or whatever he was, 21 and 41 respectively for the running backs. With DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Smith Najiba at number 12, 30, and 40 respectively.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba, the star from Ohio State, is he's going to be a fun watch. And Geno Smith is going to have a lot of high quality toys to play with this season.
Oh yeah, tight end Noah Fant is down there at 29th among the fantasy tight ends. Defense special teams for the Seahawks is number 12, while their offensive line is at number 24. So, That's pretty much the potential starters and their fantasy rankings. So what we're going to do now, of course, is let's go ahead and get the schedules for the NFC West.
Yeah.
Oh, we have someone. Hold on, let me see this. Who's up there? Who's that? Hey, LC Muscles,
Lucas.
my
Yeah,
man Lucas, how you doing?
newest member of our fantasy football league.
That's right.
And a fellow horseman, I must say. So we got me, we got Alex, of course, we got Lucas there in the league now. We're trying to get Steel Sermon in. We're trying to get him so we can get all four horsemen in this league here. That would be something right here. All right, good to see you, Lucas. So, where was I going? Oh yeah, we got this. Yeah, we got the schedule up now, right? So, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Their win projection is just 5.5.
Yuck.
Yeah, and I'm definitely hammering the under because it is a tough a brutal schedule to start. I mean, they start on the road in Washington, and the crowd is going to be so energized with Dan Snyder officially no longer the owner of the Washington Commanders because Josh Harris had his introductory press conference today, and then you've got home games against the Giants, the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the 49ers in there against four teams that made the playoffs last year. So, so Tim, I only have the Cardinals winning 3 games. They either winning on the road against the Rams week 6, on the road in Seattle week 7, and then at home week 10 against Bijan Robinson and the Atlanta Falcons.
So your first win was where?
Week 6 on the road against the Rams.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
However, I don't agree with losing on the road at Seattle. And you said week 10 against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I see a loss there. But I'm actually, what I've got here, I guess I'm going to be a little bit more generous for the Cardinals, but not too much. I got them going 8-9 this year.
8-9.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit generous. I'm going to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt here. I see them winning on the road against the Commanders. I see them winning at home against the Giants.
Really?
Real? What?
What?
But I also see them winning at home against the Cowboys.
What?
I know. It sounds crazy. I mean, we're just looking for there's got to be some screw ups here and there, and this is about a couple of them. I see them losing on the road at San Francisco, losing at home against the Bengals. See them winning on the road against the Chargers, losing at Seattle, losing at home against the Ravens. See them winning at Cleveland, losing home against Atlanta. I see them winning at Houston, winning at the Rams, or winning at home against the Rams, losing at Pittsburgh, and then probably the latest bye week I've ever seen a team have at week 14 their bye week, and they just got 4 games after that. I can see them losing at home against the Niners, winning on the road against the Bears, losing on the road against the Eagles, winning at home against Seattle. So I see a split with the Seahawks. I see a sweep by the 49ers over the Cardinals. And I see a sweep against the Rams. So that brings my projection to 8 wins and 9 losses for the Cardinals.
Whoa.
I'll give them another shot.
Yeah, mine is almost the same exact as Flynn's. I have 3 wins as well, but we just have one team that's different. Mine is the Commanders. Commanders, Falcons, and Rams. Geez, my phone's getting hot again. I gotta switch to the laptop again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right, be right back.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't y'all just hate it when your cell phones have to heat up like that? Mine usually happens when I'm like in a parked car and it's and the heat of the summer is just baking the battery of my phone and I have to either shut it off or shut it down or anything like that. So Flynn and Natalie have 3 wins for the Cardinals while I'm going to give them 8. Who knows?
And I mean, do you really think Jonathan Gannon is going to inspire this Arizona Cardinals team at all, Tim? I don't see it.
Well, crazy things happen in this league called the NFL, and as Chris Berman always says, that is why you play the games. And that's probably got to be my worst Chris Berman impression, although I love the guy. I just love Chris Berman, the godfather of ESPN, the Don Corleone of the worldwide leader. Love the guy. So while we're waiting for Natalie to come back to us, back on his laptop, we got to go to the Los Angeles Rams, who, of course, 2 years ago won the Super Bowl. Were in the penthouse. Last year, they pretty much ended up in the outhouse. And yeah. Y'all gonna think this is crazy, but I really see only 2 wins for the Rams this year.
Yeah, I see 4, and I'll give you my 4 before you give me your 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them winning on the road week 4 against the Indianapolis Colts, and then weeks 11 and 12 back-to-back games in the division. I have them winning those games, and then week 15 at home against the Commanders. Those are my 4 wins.
Okay, I agree with you. At home against the Seahawks. I agree with week 15 against the Commanders. But I disagree with okay, I see them losing at Arizona, winning at home against Seattle. My only 2 wins is home against Seattle on November 19th and winning at home against the Commanders. Let me see. Let me get Natalie back in here. Get him back. All right, we got Natalie back on his laptop now. Natalie, I was just telling Flynn that I only see the Rams winning only 2 games all year.
Interesting.
Yeah, I see them winning week 11 at home against the Seahawks.
Right.
And then winning week 15 at home against the Commanders.
So you have them starting 0-9.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I have them starting 1-8 with just with week 4 wins, but
I'm agreeing with Flynn there. I have them beating the Colts, and then let's see other wins. I'll give them 1 against the Seahawks. They'll split the series. And why not? I'll give them a win against the Cardinals. So yeah, let's go with 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so Tim, you said you had 2 wins?
2 wins.
I have 3. How many wins does Flynn have?
4.
4.
All right, so we're all over the map.
But I think the thing is I think some of the games where I think the Cardinals are going to lose. I think it's going to be more competitive than you think because you always have the McVay factor and Raheem Morris is to me the best defensive coordinator in the division. So
my only question mark is the Commanders. That's the one I don't have a really decision on yet. So wait, then who are your 4 wins for?
The Colts week 4, weeks
Right.
11 and 12 against Seattle and Arizona, then week 15 against Washington. Both of
Oh,
us
okay.
have week 15.
Okay, you're essentially the same as me then. I'm just not sure on the Commanders. That's the one I'm not too sure about.
Yeah,
That's my
but
question mark.
we're gonna see. I mean, if the Rams somehow make the playoffs with this roster, I think you got to put Sean McVay in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But as of right now, we're all taking the under.
Yes.
But
And then we have
yeah.
our first split decision. You have the over on the Cardinals, while Flynn and I have the under.
Right. So good luck to Sean McVay there with his boys. Time to talk about the 49ers schedule. Their over-under win projection is 11.5. And after looking through this schedule, I see San Francisco taking the division again with a record of 13-4.
All right, so I want to hear your 4 losses, and then if Natalia has a few losses, I want to hear his.
Yep. I'm looking this over.
I'm actually seeing the 49ers losing the first game on the road against the Steelers. Then I see wins 2 through 7. Then I see an upset at home, Cincinnati beating the Niners. Then I see 2 losses in a row at Seattle, at Philadelphia.
All right, Natalie.
So wait, how many losses is that for Tim?
4.
Yeah, I have 3 losses. I have a loss week 8 against the Bengals, week 13 against the Eagles, and week 16 against the Ravens.
Yes. So I have 5 losses for San Francisco because I am starting 5-0, including beating Pittsburgh on the road week 1. Although that's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. My first loss for San Francisco is week 6 on the road against the Browns.
Wow!
Then,
Whoa!
remember what I said about the Browns the first episode of this? I said the Browns were going to be the surprise team in the league.
You did.
Well, in order for the Browns to make the playoffs, they got to beat San Francisco week 6. Week 8, I have them losing at home to Cincinnati. It's a Sunday night game.
Right.
A game where they're going to have short rest coming back from a Monday night road game, Minnesota. And then I had them losing in Jacksonville week 10. Both teams coming off bye weeks. Let's see. Then I have them winning in Seattle, and then Seattle beating San Francisco at Levi Stadium week 14, and then the other losses to the Philadelphia Eagles in week number 13. So that gives me a record of 12-5, and right now the number 2 seed in the NFC.
Okay, so number 2 seed, probably behind Philadelphia. The Phillies, they're all that right now. They're best team in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about the Seahawks. Their win projection over under is right now at 8.5. And I was looking this down, and unfortunately, I'm taking the under. I got 6 wins for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I have 7.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta review mine. Give me 1 second. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 4. I think I only have 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think they have a rough schedule here.
Yeah, it does look pretty rough here.
I'm just gonna look again. Take a peek. Well, one of them is a question mark. So I'm gonna change my loss to a question mark on one of them. So let me see.
Oh.
One win. I'm taking back one of my losses because one of them I'm not sure about. The one with the Panthers, that's my question mark. Let me look
Panthers
for wins.
week 3.
I'm gonna go back. I'm going back to wins here. Let's see. 1, 2, all right, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm gonna go with 6 wins.
Okay. So my 6 wins are week 1 at home against the Rams,
Mm-hmm.
week 4 on the road against the Giants, week 7 at home against the Cardinals, week 10 at home against the Commanders, week 12 at home against the Niners, and week 17 at home against Pittsburgh. So I think that would be okay at home, but on the road, it's going to be pretty rough. So I basically got the Seahawks finishing with a record of 6-11.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that the question for the Seahawks to me is that they have a tougher schedule this year than they did last year, and I do think the roster has improved a little bit. I think they got a little bit better on the offensive line. I think they got a little bit better in terms of the defense, but I think a couple of the mind-numbing losses I have for the Seahawks at home are going to derail their season because I have the Seahawks losing 3 games at home, which I think is crazy, but I have them losing at home to Carolina week 3. I have them losing at home to Arizona week 7. Week 12 it lost at home to San Francisco. And then losing at Detroit, losing at the Giants on a Monday night game, losing at Cincinnati coming off their bye, losing at Baltimore week 9, losing at the Rams week 11. And then the toss-up game for me was Seattle and Dallas week 13, which is a Thursday night game, but coming off regular rest. But I'm taking the Cowboys on that one. And then week 16, I have them losing on the road to Tennessee. There's so really some mind-numbing losses in there. But does this mean Seattle should be ruled out of the playoff conversation? No, you can't. So
No, not really.
So what's your win projection then?
I've been going 7-10.
Okay, so we're all fairly close then.
Yeah.
I'm at 6-11.
So to review then, my 6 wins is week 1 against the Rams, week 7 against the Cardinals, week 8 against the Browns, week 10 against the Commanders, week 16 against the Titans, and week 17 against the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we're all taking the under on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, the only thing we were split on was the Cardinals. That's the only split decision we had today.
yeah.
Yeah, and that wraps up the entire all 32 teams going through their fantasy lineups, going through their schedules.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, going through this, the NFC West seems a little could be a little bit more intriguing than the other ones. I mean, not the flashiest. I mean, they don't have. They don't really have much sizzle, but there's a good bit of substance there.
Yeah, and I think would you mind pulling up the fantasy rankings for the NFC West because I really think because this was something that we talked about before we went on, but there are some real legitimate fantasy sleepers in that division. So I wonder if we could pull that up because I think there's going to be some intrigue because we're talking about the 49ers and they have Kittle, they have McCaffrey, they have Debo. So they have Brock Purdy, who was as good as anybody last year when healthy. He was maybe the most dominant force in all of football last year. But
I mean, you're looking at the NFC West rosters.
Yes.
All right, let me
Yeah.
call that. Let me call that back
Yeah.
up.
So because I definitely think we might give that one last look because it's a big because some of the storylines that coming out of that division, in terms of how the rosters are constructed, are going to lead to some interesting decisions from all of us on Fantasy Night, particularly if we could find those late round gems that can help us,
Yeah,
that can help us to fantasy championships, and
that's
uh,
right.
yeah. Yeah, and cause like I mentioned before, Cooper Cup and Cooper Cup at number two, maybe that thing with Matthew Stafford. Hey, potentially Cam Akers, and because I think Akers is finally had a normal off season, coming off the injury. Um, I mean, Brandon Ayuk, I think if he's going to be reliable. Number one, because Debo Samuel has had injury problems throughout the course of his entire career. So maybe Brandon Ayuk could be someone that could go in the 70s or 80s on draft night. So I think he's someone that I really got to consider drafting. Um, Says and then of course Tyler Higbee. I think a name we haven't talked about yet. If Cooper Cup's got I mean, depending on what Cooper Cup's availability is, then Stafford might look at Tyler Higbee to pick up some chunk yardage in garbage time, especially if we're all hammering the under on the Rams, that there's going to be some garbage time situations just to pick up yardage and stuff. So Tyler Higbee might be a name to watch there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, a potential sleeper is the Seahawks defense slash special teams. Because I mentioned Seattle did improve defensively during the draft, and also they have somebody back in Seattle after a legendary career who instantly upgraded the linebacker position, and that's Bobby Wagner. Who
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's why I have more wins on the schedule than I do there. But I think if you look at the linebacking crews there, we look at maybe San Francisco, who have Fred Warner, D Greenlaw, as their starters, and then Seattle's got Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, and Devin Bush as their starting linebackers, and that's as good a linebacker trio as you're going to get in this league. So the Seahawks defense slash special teams, I think you really need to take a look at that, especially if you're finding defenses to draft late in the draft.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, like I said, the NFC West, not much sizzle, but a good bit of substance right there.
Yeah, yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see how things go in the West this year
yeah,
for those teams.
yeah. And you can all and I think the AFC West is I mean as well with Pacheco with Isaiah Pacheco and company, a bit potentially being a top 20 running back.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you're going to, but because again, the thing is with the Holmes that he can turn anybody into Tyreek Hill because we saw that last year with what he was able to do with Marquez Valdez Scantling, who by the way was a receiver. So that played a big role in Kansas City that we did not talk about yet so far because he's the fourth ranked wide receiver according to the projected rankings from ESPN.
Yeah. Now that in my opinion was a pretty good clutch receiver that the Chiefs have right there.
Yeah,
Even
he
though
was.
he's like number 4, super clutch.
Yeah,
So
that if it wasn't Kelsey in the big spots, making the big catches, it was Marquez Valdez Scantling, right there.
okay. Yeah, our good friend Dashy put this up earlier. I just want to share with y'all. He's got the Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers. Actually got the Chargers finishing last in the
Last over.
NFC.
over the
Yes.
Raiders. That's interesting. I have it the other way around with the Raiders and Chargers. But other than that, we agree on everything.
Yeah. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals there. So,
Pretty fun.
yeah, Dashy, we still got a spot available here. So, yeah. So, let me go ahead as we go ahead and wrap up our show. Let me go ahead and throw that link in there one more time. There you go. We got one spot to fill to get 10 rosters, but as always, we might expand to 12 if the situation should come up. So just copy that link right there, put it into your browser, and send it to our league, and sign up right there. And we just have a couple more shows to do before our league draft, which of course we have said tentatively is September 1st. That's a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Right when the preseason ends.
Preseason ends, rather.
Yeah. Okay. And so we still got some shows to do here. We got our fantasy rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at those lists. Oh, we got 20 questions. Kind of a new thing that Natalie thought up here.
It's like a town hall setting.
Yeah.
Oh yes. That's what we're going to bring you people in.
Yeah, it just
We
depends
will.
on what show you guys want to do next. You guys want to do the fantasy ranking show next, or if you want to do the 20Q next.
Yeah, I mean, when we will make the decision.
Yeah, we'll talk about that during the week, and we'll let everybody know for our next show. Then, of course, when we get closer to the season, we'll have our playoff Super Bowl picks. We got 5 big predictions,
Mm-hmm.
and then, of course, there's our draft coming up. So,
This is it. Just 3 off-season shows to go.
Yeah.
yeah, just 3 more. I mean, we're getting closer and closer and closer. Like I said, many teams have started their training camps already. There'll be some starting up coming this week, and yeah, I'm getting excited about this.
Oh yeah.
So Flynn, hooked on sports. What you got for us?
Yeah, so this week, because there are like a lot of international headlines, this week, and so like with Carlos Alcaraz winning Wimbledon, the British Open going on right now. Lionel Messi made his Inter Miami debut tonight, for soccer, and I think he scored in his debut, so that's very exciting about that. The FIFA Women's World Cup got underway. The Team USA won over Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the that story there. Then I talk about about whether or not Shohei Ohtani is going to get traded. By the way, he gave up 2 home runs to Pirates rookie catcher Henry Davis tonight.
Oh,
Yeah. And also one thing it didn't mention is how about your Texas Rangers? That they were able to bust out the brooms and sweep the Tampa Bay Rays this week.
I'll tell you what, my Rangers are flexing their muscles like I've not seen them flex since the last time they were in the World Series. What was it, 15, 16?
It's a 2010, 2011.
2010 and 2011, around that time. So, yeah, I'm really liking this Rangers team that we've got right now. So,
yeah, and Bruce Bochy is going to be the American League Manager of the Year. I think maybe him or Brandon Hyde, but one of those two is going to win the AL Manager of the Year.
All right. So there's a lot of international flavor for this week's edition of Hooked on Sports, but it won't be too long until he goes 2 shows a week, one full of NFL and one with all the other stuff. So we got those links in the description area. Either any one of those links will take you right to Hooked on Sports. So you'll get to hear John Natale, or you'll get to hear John Flynn. So I guess if there's not much to talk about, we'll reconvene here in a couple of weeks. That would be first, second, third, fourth. That'd be August 4th. Next show is on August 4th. We'll come up either with 20 questions or we'll do our fantasy rankings. We'll talk about it during that time and we'll let everybody know what we're going to do. So I guess that's it. So, guys, thanks for joining me as always.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. No. Yeah. Thanks for doing this, Tim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
thank y'all.
preseason's right around the corner. Hall of Fame game in what, like 4 weeks?
And not even less than 2 weeks to the Hall of Fame game.
That's right. Yeah, it was the
Less
Jets and
than
the Browns,
2
I believe, right?
weeks.
It's who is it? I think the Jets are playing. And
Yeah, I think it's the Jets and the Browns.
Jets and the Browns, but I don't see the starters. Of course, starters don't play much in the
Unlikely. If they
preseason.
do, it's maybe one series and that's it.
I mean, remember that time when the Raiders played Josh Jacobs in the Hall of Fame game?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look back on that one. But I guess that's our show. There's a link. Once again, copy it, paste it to your browser. We got one spot available, but if need be, we'll get 2 more spots after that. So that's all you need to know. And I think we will go ahead and put the bow on this show. So thanks everybody for joining us. For John Flynn, for John Natale, I'm Tim McClellan. Thanks for joining us. See y'all back here in a couple of weeks. Till then, good night. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.